So I'm going to click that good old record button and we will get started. So welcome to our second ambassador sharing session. We are thrilled to have you here this morning and excited to launch this new series of opportunities for ambassador teachers to lead sessions and design sessions for fellow ambassadors. So opportunities to come and share expertise, experience, ideas, practical things that you can hopefully take right back into your classroom as well. One of the things that I think I love most about these opportunities is that it gives you a safe space as an ambassador teacher to come and try out presenting to other people that you know are not going to judge you. It's a safe space. They're going to come. They want to learn from you. They understand that you are here as an international teacher, having many new experiences. And I think that's a really nice supportive space to test out presenting. And that actually was a wonderful way to kick off the sessions, because on Thursday night at our very first session, the presenter had never presented to any other educators before. And she decided to sign up because that was something she wanted to do in 2022. And she ended up having a great reception. The people that were there, including Sarah, were so welcoming to her and supportive of her and really engaged and asking questions. So we're thrilled to repeat that this morning with Dania. And I am going to pass it right off to her. She's going to take it away for the rest of the time by introducing herself and then sharing some wonderful classroom management tips during pandemic times. So Dania, I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know it's Saturday, and sometimes we have a lot to do on Saturdays. And I said it's going to be at 10, so we go quickly. We can learn something useful, and we can go ahead and do the rest, all right? So I'm going to start sharing my screen just pretty quick so I can share with you a little bit of this topic. I picked this topic because I think, give me a second. I think a different scholar year. It has not been the same since years before, right? The fact that most of our students were just working from home, it has been just like a regression for some of them. So I noticed this, so I decided to title this Classroom Management During Pandemic Times, and just as a subtitle, it has not been the same again. That is what it has been for me. So I just want to start with a short poll. I think everybody's here in the United States. I don't know if I have somebody from another country, but please follow me to this short poll. And I just want to ask you before starting, how does classroom management look like this year for you? Just text with your phone, D Munoz 988 to the 22333, and that will give you access to share with me a little bit of your experience. Just, it has been good, it has been different, horrible, amazing, and I know there are many experiences out there, probably too different to what we have been facing over here. Let me see if you can get it. If not, let's go ahead and share a little bit in the chat as well. All right. Let's see. Is it working for some of you or not? We have somebody else coming in. All right. I don't know if it's working for some of you or not. So let's go ahead and continue with the rest. Let me put this over there. Responses. We have somebody coming in. It has been very unusual. I can tell. very unusual. All right. Let's see if somebody else got it or
What's that?
a lot different, right? I can tell. So thank you for trying. It has been, yes, very unusual. And let me go back to my presentation. Um, the fact unusual is because later, I mean, before these times, it was kind of easier. I can tell it was something about discipline behaviors or just behavior issues that could easily at some point could be managed. One or two students with that situation. But let me give you a little bit background about myself before continuing. I'm an elementary teacher at Warren County Schools, that is in North Carolina. 10 years of experience, yes, working in education, but I consider I am still learning, right? And you can follow me and share a little bit of this session at Dania-DEC in Instagram. That is my profile. And let me go and get started with this session. So as I was saying before, it was different. It was different in the beginning, but how it was. And I want to share with you this picture. One or two students probably having an issue, three the most. But now I can tell that most of them have a little bit of the following characteristics that I'm sharing with you. Many of them, they don't have a sense of empathy. They are very used to do less work because the fact that they were working from home, the load of work was not the same. The requirements or that culture for giving the excellence on their present or their classwork and everything they have to do as a students, it wasn't the same. So many of them I have been observing as from my experience this year, poor social skills, a lot, poor social skills. I have students that they always say words like this. Oh, why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? Or oh, don't look at me. Or why are you making this noise? Anything. It's like if they are so used to be by themselves in the house and now understanding that they are in a classroom surrounded by more students, everybody's different, and have we all need the opportunity to be accepted and to be tolerant at some point, right? A lot of them, they have anxiety and low self-esteem, no routines for study. It has been an issue. At the beginning, I remember students telling me, "Oh, I'm so sleepy. At what time is the lunch?" Because their lunch used to be a little bit earlier than being in the classroom. And of course, behavior issues, disciplines, poor performance in classwork, and a lack of sense of responsibility and excellence. Many of them were not that used to present homeworks, never. And I was at the beginning, what's going on, and I just understood this is completely different. They have been in this area where I am working, it has been like 1 year and a half, almost 2 years, for these students to be at home having just the virtual learning through the computer that they were having, where when many of them, they did show up for the sessions virtually, but many of them, they never showed up, or once in a while, or many of them were just used to log in and go to sleep and having the computer right there in black screen. I don't know if you had the same experience with them during virtual learning, but that what was happening over here. It was a very difficult time to make them understand that it was the same school, but in a different way. So now that they are in the classroom, it has been a completely like shocking change for them. Understanding that now we have routines, now we have procedures, we have expectations about their work, schedules for this, schedule for that. And it has been a work day by day by day by day. And I know that you are over there working day after day, repeating and repeating. And so I decided just to share with you a little bit short 5 tips that I have integrated, that I have tried for this, trying to see change in these students that I have under my responsibility this year, because I didn't want them to continue thinking that the same easy thing it was going to continue. I didn't want them to, I want them to have this culture of hard working, the understanding that everything they do must be done with excellence. That was my, or that is actually my goal and high expectation for them. So we have been working on them, and I just broke it into 5 tips, and let me share with you the first one. Number one that I was struggling with, it was taking care of myself. So the one is take care of yourself. Even when you feel it's too much, wait and take a deep breath. Because I discovered that the more anxious and stressed I was, it was like a reflection of this emotion or these feelings on them at the same time. So it was even worse for me and worse for them, right? Eh, and I get distracted seeing this um the chat, and I'm seeing your opinions, and that's amazing that you can identify yourself with this situation. So I was feeling overwhelmed because many of them, as I told you before, no social skills. They were just for everything. Oh, let's fight. Oh, let's. Why are you telling me this? And the yelling and this and that. And I was like, where are you coming from, boy or girl? So it was stressful. It was overwhelming at some point, that I was like, I just want to do something else. And I can understand why some teachers out there, they just quit and they are now doing another type of profession, because it was heavy. It was heavy, this change, receiving these students, and with no absolutely or poor social skills. There were, of course, there are 2 or 3 that they do have it, but out of 25 students, imagine 17, 18 having this type of issues. It was overwhelming. So I decided first to have a like a routine for myself, taking care of me after school hours. I just decided to come home and do my my chores of the house, not thinking in school, not thinking on what it was done that day, because it was if I was bringing those emotions from the school to the house, I couldn't have the opportunity to relax or to have a little bit of good rest. So I decided like to have a this division between school and the house, because we were just too used to continue working from home. I remember when we were working from home, it was 9 o'clock in the night, evening, and I had to continue texting parents, this kid is not doing the work, or this kid needs to show up. So at the beginning of the scholar year, I was kind of used to that. So I had to make a division on that, this difference between the school work site and my house. So taking care of myself, it has been helping me to have like a fresh mind, a fresh way to now deal with these situations in the classroom. After that, I decided, oh, this is not, we cannot continue with this dealing of behavior issues and trying to fight every day. Thanks God they never fought in the classroom, but they were about, and that was just overwhelming. So the second thing that I did was just starting the scholar year, but if you have not, or you are still dealing with those situations, this is number 2, establish rules and expectations. And at the beginning of the scholar year, the school gave us this students manual to share with them. And of course, we share and communicate the classroom expectation to our students, but I consider that wasn't enough because they could just forget. So what I decide, and I recommend you just to post them in your classroom, and this is what I did. I created a slide presentation to repeat it every day when starting the day. Every single day, after saying good morning, I go and start with this presentation that contains my rules, classroom rules, expectations, and some important other tips that I have decided to, and I'm gonna show you just now. So this is of something of every day. And I remember some of my students asking me, why are we doing this why are we repeating these rules every day? We already know them, he said. And I was like, we really need it. We're still working on that. And I can tell you that I have been seeing some changes. I have been seeing improvement. I have been seeing a lot of different on their behavior and on their performance as students. Because in the expectation is what they supposed to be doing. I have been seeing that they were not used to do hard work. Now they know that there's not time to be lazy. There's not time to be just sit down and doing whatever. No, there's an expectation of excellence, and they need to accomplish this expectation, because if not, they're not gonna be, I am telling them, you're not passing this grade if you're not changing that uh, vision of willing to have everything easy. I teach fifth grade, and fifth grade is harder than lower grades, I think, because third grade, fourth grade, they are the base for this one in order to pass to the middle school, because after this they go to the middle school. And they felt it was hard, and they said, oh, fifth grade is hard. And of course it's hard, but for them, that they left school in third grade, because that was when the pandemic started. They left school the classroom. They left the classroom in person in third grade, and they just returned this year. It was shocking for them, right? And let me know if I'm going so fast. I'm trying to transmit this information and trying to share this what has been happening, but I don't want to make you feel that I'm rushing and going too fast. um all right, so that was second, establish your rules and expectations. And I'm going to show you in a minute what else I decided to add: some daily affirmations. Investigating and knowing, realizing that these students, they didn't have any poor social skill, realizing that they didn't have these routines on place. So I decided to add daily affirmations such as repeating with me. And that's why I'm telling you here, guide them to say these affirmations, or the series of affirmations that you decide um, allow, and allow with their voices, because this is a way just to rewire the brain. They were so used to being in the house with no responsibility, someone to be telling them, you have to do this, you have to accomplish this, and you have to do it correct. They were not used to that. So I decided to include this type of affirmations. And after repeating our rules and expectations every single morning, we repeat also this type of affirmation. And I'm just giving you an example here, but you decide which one you want to include. And I just put this short video, and I think it can be played. This short video of what we do every single morning. And let me know. I think I'm sharing the sound. Yes. About what we do each morning. So this is just how it looks like, what I've been saying on step 2 and step 3. It looks like this. Go over our procedures and expectations. Number 1, cheers to everybody for being here. It's Friday after a week of assessments and tests. Probably some people thought, I'm going to stay at home and relax. But remember that being responsible is something of every day. Every day, this is your responsibility. It's our responsibility, and it's very important for us to accomplish. Then, number 1, listen and obey to your teacher. Listening is one thing, obeying is another. You already know that, right? So listening, I encourage you to obey those instructions when you listen. Then, our classroom rules: I listen and follow instructions. I allow one person to speak at a time. I raise my hand, and I use all the equipment safely, I speak politely, I act politely, and I also use my manners. Which manners? Please, thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry, you're welcome. All of those are manners. Let's apply them in our daily interactions with everybody, right? No chewing gum, not eating class, except the breakfast, you know it, and the lunch. Those are our times for eating, not before, not after that. Then, our word of the week has been trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make all your paths straight, right? He is there to help us every time we need it, even though when sometimes we just say, oh, please help me, He is listening to you. So let's be mindful about that, right? And our school pledge, our everyday commitment. At the count of three. 1, 2, 3. School pledge. Today I will do my best to do best. I will listen, I will follow directions, I will be honest. I will sacrifice others, I can learn, I will learn. You see, I know it's all up to me. All up to you. Very important to remember that. That is not your classmate or somebody else, but you make the decisions at the end, right? And our daily affirmations over there, look over there. I am grateful, I am focused, I am motivated, I am happy, I am blessed. All of those, right? Let's remember those every single time we feel like struggling. We are all of those, all right? Now, let's start our, what's the name? All right, so that is our daily routine, and we say the same every day. And I have been seeing the change of how these people, these students were acting at the beginning of the scholar year, and how they are acting or they are performing, being more aware that we are in a community. The classroom is our community. We need to be tolerant. We need to be kind. We need to be as nice as possible one each other. And I have seen the change, but it has been every single day repeating the same slide presentation that you see. I will go over our repeating the same slide presentation that you see in this video since the beginning of the scholar year, and I have seen a lot of change. It's like, as I said at the beginning, rewiring the brain of these students. They were so used to the wrong routines, but now we are such a in place new routines that are helpful for them, and having this organization in their everyday uh, educational process, it has been a lot for them, a lot of help. Now, number 4, I just want to share with you that point number 4, going to the next one. Establish a culture of hard work. Plan every learning space that you're going to have. Apply differentiation, yes, but that doesn't mean that the differentiation classwork or quiz or assignment is gonna be so easy for those that are in a different level, but just emphasize that each work must be done with excellence. At the beginning of the school year, these people, my students were not even so used to write, and they were just not even trying their best handwriting. So I had to return a lot of work, go and do it again, go and do it again, and present something clean, present something that is legible, present something that looks good. And at the beginning, they were, oh, why? Here. They just wanted to present like that. But I was like, no, this doesn't look good. You're in 5th grade. You're supposed to be showing excellence. And by this point, it has been a huge change from them understanding that they cannot present whatever word, whatever they see, it looks, whatever it is, they need to, they know now that it should be achieving this standard of excellence. Still, I'm not gonna say that it's perfect, but it is different than at the beginning, and that's a lot, has a lot of meaning for me. Seeing them from that what they were, now what they are, where they are. And lastly, and not less important, the 5 is praise their good actions and form relationship with them. At the same time, do not forget to involve parents. And if you have any discipline specialist in your school, it can be a lot. It can be very helpful to involve in whatever situation you're having in the classroom. It's not bad to reward them once in a while for their performance and improvements. It's not gonna be of rewarding every day. No, I don't do it every day because I don't want them to think that their good action, it must be based on what they're gonna get. I want them to think that their good actions and their good performance is based on how they can achieve that best version of themselves, like being a good citizen, being a good student is gonna be, is the main goal is understanding that they need to be like that because it's gonna be good for them, and not because the reward, not because I'm gonna call the parent. No, it's it first they need to understand that it's for themselves and not for others, that they're gonna be trying to do good, trying to have a better performance, a better behavior, is for themselves in first place. And it has been working. At this point, it has been working. It has been a little bit struggle for some of them because some cases are more difficult than others, but I have seen a lot of change even in that most difficult case that I had. This student that it was, I thought at the beginning, this one is the one that is so difficult. But I have been seeing even change in that one, that it was so kind of refusing the change or refusing the fact that now they were supposed to be in a routine, organized, and achieving this culture of hard work and excellence. So parents, of course, they need to be involved, knowing how they are in the classroom, knowing how good they're doing, or if they're having any regression. Parents need to be knowing every single aspect. And of course, and if you have someone in your school that is in discipline, any discipline specialist that can help, that would be also another helpful tool that you can use. So I hope these 5 points can be useful for you. I hope that you can, probably you already applying all of them. Probably you're already in the way to be seeing those changes. But if you're still struggling, you can try one of these and you can tell me later what was the result. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for everybody. And remember, you are enough and you are doing a great job. Don't forget that. Nobody can tell you that you're not doing it. You are. Thank you once again.
Dania, thank you so much for that. As you were wrapping up and you were saying, many of you probably already know these tips and many of you are probably already using them. I think that's one of the most interesting things about this is that, you're all very, very experienced rock star educators, or you would not have been brought here to the United States with this program. And you come to the US and it feels like starting again, right? Like you're a new teacher in a new country, new curriculum, but then you have this pandemic. And it's like all of a sudden now you're having kids come back into the classroom. It is like starting again. You think, oh, well, kids know how to behave in school. They know what routines and procedures are like. But after 2 years being isolated at home, somebody, I think it was Diana, mentioned in the chat earlier, the different levels of support that students have had at home. Some have had student parents really helping them. Some have had parents doing the work for them. Some have had no support. It really is like starting again. And I think that consistency, reviewing rules, reviewing procedures, just making those things a habit, and including the affirmations and the expectations for good work. I think those are all key. So thank you for sharing. We'll open up. I didn't see any questions in the chat, but if anyone wants to unmute and have any questions or comments on Dania's presentation or for her while we have her here, please feel free to unmute yourselves.
Yes, Michelle, I forgot to say that if anybody has any question, you are free to ask. And as you said, having these students isolated for so many days, almost 2 years, it was difficult for them to return to the classroom. And the affirmations I have found, even for adults, I'm include myself at saying, repeating with them, I am motivated. It wakes me up, and I feel it. I can embrace it, and not only for them, but also for me at the same time.
Hello, good morning.
Hey.
Yeah, my observation first is, well, thank you very much for sharing. It's something that we're all going through, I think, in our classrooms, and there are days when we just, well, I don't know if it happens to you all, but there are days when I just feel like, is it not Friday yet? So, but one of the things, I teach third grade, and one of the issues that I have found is that my third graders are having this thing about boyfriend and crush issues. And I think, I mean, it's third grade. Now, have you in fifth grade found something similar to that? And how do you deal with that? Because I've tried, I mean, I'm trying, but if there's something else my first thing to do is, we are not here to do that. I mean, like what you have said, there's so much work that needs to get done. And here you are distracted, making little notes in the classroom, writing notes, and then there's a fight because the two girls are fighting for a boy, or two boys for a girl, and that is added, and that compounds the already difficult situation. So I said, like, conflict resolution, because now that's a different level. So anybody who would want to share on that issue, please, I welcome the advice. Thank you.
I I am teaching in middle school, and of course they have a lot that. And even sixth graders, they are the ones who are more like that. And in eighth grade, I have a couple that they are boyfriend and girlfriend. But the first thing is that we don't have to like to scare about it, and we don't have to share to them or to show them that we are worried about those feelings, and it's natural from them. And of course now they are starting since third grade, fourth grade, and in sixth grade is more than 7th and 8th grade, because in 7th and 8th grade, in 7th grade they start hating each other, boys and girls. But in sixth grade also, but there are others that are a little bit more awake about those things. And even I had a girl who talked to her friends about wishing to have sexual relationships with a boy. So if you see that, because the mom came, so that's why we realized about it. So you just go with the specialist, the counselor, and then they start fixing the problem, and you don't have to do anything else. You just go with them, talk to them, because they are they are specialized in those things, and it doesn't take time from you too. But what I do in my classroom is just to let them know that it is okay and it's normal. And even I take it like a joke, like, oh, you like it? Oh, really? Is it nice? Tell me more. So that you are interested in their likes. So they are going to take it like something normal, or not anymore exciting. Because one thing that is exciting for them is that it's prohibited. So when we stop showing them that is not prohibited and that is normal, because that is natural, we just start telling them in a general way why it's not good to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but it's good that we like each other, but it's awesome to have friends, and friendship is amazing and it's very nice. And maybe telling them your experiences with your friends, or when you were in third grade, if you remember some things when you were in that grade. So they start seeing these like, okay, it's not such as a big deal, or it's not prohibited, or the teacher is taking it normal, so it's not gonna tell my parents. So they start like forgetting and and that. But if we start paying a lot of attention in that and getting scared about their reactions, they realize, and it's kind of psychological things like that they start trying to make it more and more visible for you. So they call your attention in that way. That has worked to me in middle school. Even the couple that I have in middle school, the boy was not doing well. She was a very good student. And now that helped me because now he's working, and I put them together to work, and they work amazing. So take that as an advantage for you. Just be aware about what they are doing. That is my opinion.
Yeah.
And I understand, Mr. Humberto, your experience, because that was exactly that was happening. Because when years before, when I was in 5th grade, teaching 5th grade, I had never seen something like that. Boyfriend and girlfriends, and what, as you said, two girls that like the same boy, and then they're trying to be enemies. What are you thinking, little girl? I was like, focus in the academics. But as Ms. Diana just said, the specialist, the discipline specialist, if you see that it's out of control, they're always trying to fight, distracting the classroom, because that was happening, distracting the classroom with their comments, indirect comments for the another that was liking the same boy. It was out of control. So I have to use the co-parents. If it was too worse, trying to fight for them, trying to fight for that boy, or trying to fight for the another girl. Mostly in girls, I have seen that, telling them they're gonna fight for him. And I called parents, letting them know your child is doing this and this and this. And also I sent them to the discipline specialist so they can avoid the distraction in the classroom, because it was too much at that point. But as Ms. Diana says, if you can, if it's not that dangerous yet, you can still try to redirect them how relationships can be. But I was surprised in 5th grade, but you telling me happening this in 3rd grade. What is this generation? A lot different. What a lot different.
Because they have more information that we didn't have before. So they have a lot of information with their cell phones, internet. So now they have more information in their minds, and they don't know how to manage it. And since parents get angry about these kind of topics because they don't know how to manage, then they just figure out things, and that is dangerous. So that's why as teachers, we have to be aware about those things and take it in a normal way and try, as you say, redirect their feelings and everything. 3rd graders are kind of teenagers. They are now becoming teenagers. Yes.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
when I taught 3rd grade and I also taught 5th grade, I was kind of, I wanted my students to not be scared to tell me things, so when girls would say to me, oh, I have a crush on Sam, I'd be like, oh yeah, Sam's really nice. And I would find ways to compliment Sam. I would throw academics in there too. Like, yeah, he's really good at math, isn't he? And I would say really kind things about Sam because I don't want to shut the girl down. But, I would also, say, oh, I remember being in 3rd grade and I had a crush on, Mark Lopez. And then I would say, you're going to have crushes on lots of boys over time. You're going to have lots of friends who are boys. But I said, you know what? In class, we can't be writing these notes. Like, we can't be worried about this in class time because you have got to do this. And so you hear them, but you also try not to make a big deal of it. Like, oh my God, you can't like him. You can't say you have a crush. But also, again, reinforcing those rules about you can't be sending Sam love notes in class, but you also can't be writing notes to Sally, who's your best friend across the room, So just bringing it back to like class rules and consistency. And then I think too, what Dania said, when it starts to get a little bit out of control, if things are being said inappropriately in that note that you find on the floor, if girls or boys are fighting over things, you take it just like you would in any other situation of two girls fighting over something that's not about a boy, and dealing with that and bringing in, the counselor if need be, and so on. But I think just reinforcing those class rules, not even having to make it about your crush or this boyfriend girlfriend relationship that you think you have in third grade, hearing them, recognizing again, like Diana said, that that's normal, but also watching for that signs that things are going awry or that classroom rules are and procedures are being broken. Yeah. But yes, it is funny to hear third graders talking about my boyfriend, my girlfriend, right? All of us who are older and think about, oh gosh, I remember when I was in third grade. It kind of makes you chuckle. Yeah. Well, any other questions or comments for Dania?
I want.
Yeah,
No.
something that, everything was so interesting. Thank you so much for sharing this, because I know that these thoughts are in every single teacher working around the world. So thank you so much for sharing these tips. They were great. And something that specifically called my attention was when you talk about how students want to present a work and they probably just want to do it. It doesn't matter the quality that they are showing and how you still are trying them to achieve an excellence. That's actually something that I am having struggled with. I still don't know after almost a year how to handle this, because I work with second grade. I really don't want my students to feel bad or to feel that I am too strict, but sometimes they just write one letter from a whole writing and they want me to say that it's great, and I am like, no baby, believe me, this you can do so much better than this. So I don't know if this is also a part after this pandemics. In this case, second graders, probably some of them never went to school before, but it's very hard for me, like having such a different grades of such a different levels of works that students do, and there are some of them that achieve the goal, but they are just a few of them. And most of them, they want to have enough just for doing something. It doesn't matter what. And for me, of course, as a teacher, I would like them to do their best effort every time. So I don't know if it's a matter of balancing as a teacher. I don't know if probably I am not, but in my mind, I don't know if I am being too strict with myself as a teacher, or if there is a better way that I could motivate them to do their best effort. That's like my question.
I understand the feeling. I understand the feeling. As you said, they just want us to say, "Oh, good job," and the thing looks not well. So, what I did, as I said before, in a peaceful way, go and do it again. You can do it. As you said, you can do better. Go ahead. Try another with another page, bring the notebook. Sometimes I had to model for them, look, this is the way you have to write, draw the letters, or it must be clean, even follow the little line of the notebook. The letters doesn't supposed to be flying all over the paper. I had to do it, and as you said, don't feel bad because you want them to achieve excellence or to present something that is better than that. The opposite, I will say, because they will learn that those are not the ways to, that is not the way to do the things, but there's something better that they can do it. They are capable. You believe in them that they are capable to achieve it. So don't feel stressed. And something difficult that I had, and I forgot to mention, it was the reading time. They were so lazy to read. And because in 5th grade, they supposed to have this state test where the reading is the most. They were so lazy to read. They didn't want to see the details. They didn't even go through the lines, the text again to realize which one is the answer for the question. But what I started to do was like reading aloud with them and breaking down the text. This says, hey, see, there's a detail important. I this a lot of days, a lot of days, a lot of days. And I remember at the beginning of the first stage test that we had, the results were horrible. The scores were horrible. But in this another that we just had the second benchmark to the second state test, 70% of the class or 75% of the class approved the whole state test. And I feel like they are learning how to use the text. They are seeing that it's not rushing through the lines. And many times I had to tell them, don't rush through the lines. Take your time to read. Take your time to do this. Don't feel like that you need to be finishing this in 1 minute, because it's not possible. And many times before even starting a simple test in the classroom, don't pretend that this test it must be done in 1 minute. If you do it in 1 minute or 5 minutes, that is telling me that you're not trying your best. And I had to stress out those little details to letting them know, do your best. Do your best. That's what I try to do, like being on top of every single detail that I wanted them to achieve, even during the independent work. And they can be more aware, oh, this is not the way I have to present this, because Miss Munoz is not going to be happy with this, and I won't be happy with that. So they can be aware where they are and what they need to be doing.
And Anna Maria, I love your point. Anna Maria just typed in the chat, Martha, saying about how parents can be really great allies in this. So even some parent communication, like in your monthly newsletters or whatever, about excellence. And, if parents are expecting excellence at home, it's also consistent. Then they come in the classroom, the teacher expects excellence. You're both working on this together. Another thing that I used to do, and now the internet has changed that a little bit. Back when I was still teaching, Twitter was just starting to be used by some educators, and I wish that I had used it more, but it was very brand new. But one of the things I used to do was every week I would select a couple of pieces of student work and have them hanging outside of my classroom, and have a section, and everybody in my school, I let parents know that this was happening. I let administrators, I let teachers know, other students knew. And there was a section underneath there where people could write compliments. So they could say, oh my gosh, this is so good, or, oh, I love this writing piece, or I love this part. And so that's another way to highlight to students, like when you do your best work, people will see it, people will compliment it. So then you can kind of find those moments, and they start to see, ooh, other people are getting positive praise for taking their time and for doing these great pieces of work. One thing now, I think social media just makes this so much more fun, because what about if your students knew, and Martha, I know that you are on social media, so this would be an easy thing for you. You take some examples of student work here and there and post them online, and then start to show your kids, look at this tweet. I shared somebody's work, ask people to comment on it. You can see how many people liked it. You can maybe have people comment like what country they're in and where they saw it. Then suddenly students are like, maybe she'll tweet about my work next. Maybe her teacher friends from around the world will see that. Your teacher network will help support you in things like that too. So putting out a tweet that says, hey, I'm so proud of this student's writing sample, like, have a look and let them know what you think, and tell us what country you're from, then sharing that with kids, it gets students engaged and excited. And we know there are always going to be some who are just going to try to get by with the bare minimum, but this is maybe one of the ways that can inspire them and motivate them to get some positive feedback like that too. Yeah, but don't be hard on yourself for having high expectations of them, Martha. You want the best for them, and you want them to strive for excellence for themselves as well, regardless of the age.
That's true.
Go ahead.
I just agree with what you're saying. And I am seeing an Anna Maria Knight comment that it says parents are a good help as well. Something that I just wanted to add, be specific with what you, for example, for writing, I want 6-line paragraph, and many of them, can we do 2? Can we do 3? No, 6 lines paragraph. Go ahead, you can do it. You know, the praising and the encouragement at the same time. Go ahead, you can do it. 6 lines paragraph. And if you can do more, yes, I'm always telling them, if you can do more, that's great, but not less than 6. And they are aware, not less than 6. So like emphasizing what exactly you want, it works.
That's right. Setting those expectations. Well, we have run a few minutes over, but I think you were all happy for that, because I think you were engaged in questions and picking Dania's brain, and also picking each other's brain, which is one of the best things about gathering with a group of like-minded educators. Very quickly, as we wrap up, 3 quick things. Y'all know me. We're going to take a group shot, right? Because I'm going to have to tweet you. So if your camera has been off and you would like to be in the group shot, feel free to turn it on. For those of you that your camera's on, if you would prefer not to be in the photo, you're more than welcome to turn it off. But on the count of 3, just give me your best Zoom smile so I can include this in a tweet later. I know, look at Umberto getting all ready over there. All right, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And then the last 2 things very quickly, I'm going to put a link in the chat here to our learning. You know, we have 4 categories in the ambassador experience. Learning is one of them. I'm linking the learning discussion there. You'll see if you click on that link that I posted about our Thursday night sharing session. I'll also post about this one. And if you think of questions later for Dania and you would like to ask them to her, feel free to come to this discussion and share your thoughts, ask her questions, share other ideas that you might have related to the topic. And Dania, you can feel free to chime in and add any answers to questions or anything you might like to share. And then the very last link I will share with you, which is celebrating you for taking some time out of your Saturday morning to attend this session. You know that we are trying to help you build up your transcript for when you leave this experience, that you have all these wonderful badges and evidence of the professional learning that you have done. So this is an opportunity for you to earn a virtual session attendee badge. You just have to say what the session is, what date it was, what it was about, and then share a takeaway. It's nice and easy way to earn a badge and add it to your collection. Dania, you will be receiving an email from me, and you will receive a special link for a presenter badge for being our wonderful presenter today. So look for that in your email later today. But I just want to say a huge thank you to you for sharing. This was a wonderful session, and we greatly appreciate you taking your time out to share. And a round of applause for all of you who got up this morning and had your coffee or your mate or your water and joined in on this session too. Thank you for supporting your fellow ambassadors and sharing your ideas. So, and Tana Maria, thanks to my colleague for joining in on the fun too. She always loves connecting with ambassadors just like I do. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your well-deserved weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank